Welcome to The Drummer Speaks. I'm your host, Alvin Atkinson. Hailing from Washington, D.C., drummer and recording artist Russell Carter II has performed alongside great artists such as Gary Thomas, Billy Bang, and Sonny Simmons. He's a graduate of Howard University and has toured all over the U.S. playing jazz music. Russell, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, I met your brother, bassist Rashawn Carter, years ago.
Okay.
And he's touring now with Cindy Blackman. He's played with Wallace Roney for many years. You guys graduated from Suitland High School?
Yeah, Suitland High School.
Suitland High School. That's the Center for Performing Arts,
yeah,
right?
in Prince George's County, yeah.
Okay. How was that experience going to school there? And
well, the experience was great. We got a good foundation. I mean, you know, in the arts. Got to spend a lot of time, you know, doing music in high school. So, you know, I think it was a great foundation in music. Also, our father is a musician, so you know that helped me get a good start. Also, you know.
What instrument did your father play?
My father played tenor sax.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a chance to get a little trio going on with your dad.
Yeah, we did. And then I have a brother. You know, our youngest brother plays piano.
Wow.
Music was always around.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what kind of music did you study in high school at the Center of Performing Arts?
Well, in high school, you know, we had a large concert band, you know, where we played European classical. We had, and then we had a jazz band, a big band, you know. And then, of course, you know, a few of us would get together and, you know, play some jazz standards, you know, play R&B, whatever hip-hop we heard on the radio. So, you know.
That's cool. Now, when you played classical, did you play like timpani, marimba, snare drum?
Yeah, I played timpani, marimba, snare drum, you know, xylophone, all the.
Okay.
And then I had a teacher who was, you know, teaching me Western percussion.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So you did that all throughout high school?
I did, throughout high school and then throughout college.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you went to Howard University. You know, I think that's where I first met Antonio Parker, saxophone player.
Yeah.
And but how was the experience at Howard University?
The experience was great. Like not only in music. I mean, you know, I learned a lot about Black history. I learned a lot about, you know, I met a lot of people who are doing things in other areas that I, you know, I was able to network with. So, you know, I got a great music education, but then everything else was there also. So, you know, I thought it was a great experience.
Yeah, that's going to historically Black colleges is a wealth of information. I think when I first started college, what impacted me was seeing so many Black professors.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
just seeing that made it that much more tangible to me to realize, because at first going you say like, I don't know if I could ever be a doctor, you know. But to see that, you know, to see those mirrored images of yourself, like be a doctor, head of the department, that really impacted me.
Definitely, definitely.
And so at Howard University, did you play in marching band?
I played in marching band for one day.
Right?
Yeah.
Did they march chorus style or swag style?
I guess the second one, the high stepping, yeah. So, you know, it was just, it seemed to me like it was more dancing than really playing, you know. And
well, see, the thing is that it is a lot of dancing, but where the drummers really have a challenge is the drum punch.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's when we have to play more than anybody in the band.
Definitely. And then I saw that everybody else was going in to have dinner or whatever else.
Right.
And we were, you know, the drum line was still out there, you know, rehearsing. So I said,
Was it a intense fraternal situation that turned you off? Because, you know, there's such a fraternal culture with the marching band. Like, you know, you're a freshman, you can't eat here, you know, you wear these boots.
Yeah, definitely.
All day with a suit. You know, that kind of thing.
And then it seemed a little bit like the military to me. They were making me do push-ups and run laps, and you know, it just wasn't. I had never done it before, and I guess I was expecting something different, and you know, I really wanted to go to college to play, you know, drum set and percussion and everything, and learn about music, and it seemed like that was taking me away from what I really wanted to do. You know, I'm not telling anybody not to do it because it's for some people. Some people.
But that's good. I mean, because I did it for a few years, and it was a hard balance
Yeah, I
because
hear
you would
you.
have to practice a lot, and then with jazz band, and the jazz band director does not want to hear you have drumline practice.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
so I had to burn the candle at both ends a few
Yeah.
times. You know, more than a few times
Yeah,
actually.
I hear you.
So, I guess from that point, you just primarily stayed with the jazz ensemble.
The jazz ensemble. I also played with the concert band at
Okay.
at Howard, and yeah, that's pretty. And then we had small combos. We had jazz tet, and I played with that for a while, which was a combo. So
Right.
I
Now, how
pretty
did
much
the
that.
information that you obtained as a musician at Suitland uh, propel you or help you develop to be prepared for a higher college level at Howard University in like concert band and jazz ensemble?
In high school we were definitely on an advanced level, being that it was an art school, and I think they were truthful to us in high school about what it takes to be a professional and to move to the next level. So I think that's what helped me the most.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why, I mean, I asked you that question because I think that can kind of allow the audience to really see why it only took you a day to decide if you wanted to do this marching band
I hear you.
or not. It was because you had an agenda and you knew what you wanted, And like you said, it has nothing to do with don't do marching band.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you know what you want,
Yeah.
and you come here for it, because
Yeah.
I went to a specific school for what I wanted,
Yeah.
and it sounds like
Yeah.
you kind of you were in tune to that.
Yeah, well, and the weird thing is, I was I auditioned, with the head of the instrumental music department, but I was also recruited there for marching band. So,
Right. Well, that was my conflict because when I started off my first year at Fayetteville State,
Okay.
and I was only there for 1 year because they had the marching band, but they gave me a scholarship for jazz ensemble.
Oh, wow.
But they didn't really have much of a jazz ensemble.
Yeah.
And I told with the fact that I'm spending all this time with marching band, I'm writing marching band, drumline stuff,
Yeah.
and I want to play in a jazz band.
Yeah.
So that's why I actually left and went to North Carolina
Oh,
Central,
wow.
which was a great move for me.
Yeah.
So when you know what you want, you got to go get it.
Yeah.
If you can't get it, you got to move to the next door.
Yeah.
So tell us about your experience in New York. You came here in 2008, right?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
And so you and your brother are on the scene. Who are some of the people you first started to play with once you came to New York City?
Well, I was recently, and when I first came, I've been playing a lot with Doug Karn and his ex-wife Jean Karn, and they released a lot of albums in the '70s under the Black Jazz label, and then recently decided to get back together and perform. So my brother and I have both been performing with the two of them, and we were able to tour a little bit, and we went to England last year and everything. And then first coming here, I mostly was doing local gigs and just playing wherever I could.
Doing the sessions. Did
Yeah,
you do the
yeah.
sessions at Cleo's?
Oh
and
yeah.
St. Nick's Pub
Fat
and
Cat
all that.
and
Fat
Smalls.
Cat,
Yeah,
Smalls.
definitely. Yeah, St. Nick's Pub, and just when I first moved to New York, I was pretty much just going out almost every night to sessions, just trying to meet people and
Right. I remember when I first came here, I used to go into Smalls, and it wouldn't quite be dark. It wouldn't be like dark yet.
Yeah.
But when I would come out, it would be sunlight.
Yeah.
Because I would just stay in there and literally like sit in, then I'd just hear a band. I just wouldn't leave. I would just sit there, and all night, and all of a sudden it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would come out. But people would be amazed at how much, they would like, what's going on in there? It would be music. We would literally play, wait to sit in. Okay, I'm going to sit in at 2:30.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit in at 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
So that was an amazing experience. So now you came in 2008 and you started playing in jam sessions and so forth. But I want the audience to get a chance to hear you. There's a good video that I have of you in Prague, the Czech Republic. I think is this for the president?
Yeah, the president was in attendance, and a lot of dignitaries in Prague. So
this is a group with Jason Marshall, my man Paul Bolenbach, and who else is in this group?
An organ player, Andre Pivet.
Andre Pivet.
Who's actually from the...
he's from Prague, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a quick video of Russell Carter in Prague with a group with my man Paul Bolenbach, Jason Marshall, organist
Andre Privet,
who's from Prague, and they're performing for the president and a bunch of dignitaries. Check out this groove. All right, Russell, that was grooving, man. Tell me a little bit about that performance and how that was. I know that's a long flight, first of all, to get there.
Yeah.
So did you have to play like the day of the flight or a day after? Or how was that?
Well, luckily we came a day before we had to play.
Okay.
We stopped over in Russia for a while.
Okay.
And then flew to Prague, and it was a great experience. I think they're very receptive to all types of music over there, and you have large audiences that come out for all types of music over there, as as opposed to here, where sometimes certain things that may be new and people don't really know too much about, they're not as receptive to. So.
I think that's the beauty of traveling abroad. I was just in Switzerland, and I like the fact that maybe it's because it's a new thing, like we're coming from another place, you know, that when we get there, it's just having audience people that are like so intently listening.
Yeah.
That it's amazing, it feels great to perform, And I think maybe as Americans, it's just we get spoiled for having this here all the time, that it's like, oh, it's just a nightclub away.
Yeah.
We can get there and hear that any time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess, Americans are maybe overwhelmed with so much stuff, and then, you know, maybe we don't realize what we have sometimes.
That's true.
You know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who were some of your influences on the drums when you were growing up, and even as a professional? I guess even when you got here, we begin to see some of our influences. But who were some people that inspired you?
I've listened to a lot of the jazz greats, you know, Elvin Jones, Art Blakey, you know, Tony Williams. Studied with Grady Tate at Howard, so I definitely, you know, went back and listened to a lot of what he was doing. Max Roach. Dennis Chambers, definitely, you know, he's from the area. Right. Billy Hart. And then, you know, just a lot of local guys in D.C. I was influenced by growing up. You know, I would go to jam sessions or just go to see people play. And, you know, I think I saw those guys playing the most because, you know, I would just be out and seeing them play. So I think I picked up a lot of stuff from seeing, you know, local D.C. guys play, you know.
I love D.C. D.C. is really the first place I really started to check out jazz. When I would go up and see my sister, I would go to the One Step Down.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to see Novacell, Davis, and my man Bubbles would be on drums sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I really, you know, I went in and I was just like, man, okay, I'm in D.C., I'm from North Carolina. But these guys were so nice to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I would see them, you know, once every 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And they would always be nice, you know, but I was just amazed at their proficiency level. But yet how humble they were.
Definitely.
You know, which was a different reception I got when I started to play classical music at a higher level. It was a different level. It was more like I could feel the pecking order. You know, but with these cats, I mean, they were playing, but it was like they were still cool and saying, okay, what you working on, man?
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
You know, so that's what I really admired about that. And I don't think Twins Lounge was around there. I didn't go check out Twins.
Okay.
I just remember the One Step Down. That was like my spot. I just
that closed when I was still in high school. So,
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Wow, man, you make me feel old, man.
Well.
You know. Do you have any projects you're working on now, or some things you're doing?
Well, I recently did a project with 2 other musicians. The guy, Andre Pivek from Prague that you saw in the video, and a sax player, Karel Ruzicka. We have a band that it's like it's an electric acoustic hybrid. So I'm working with acoustic drums, but also an SPDS, and I'm sampling, you know, different sounds and, you know, using that also. And then the organ player, he's playing synths also, you know, synth bass and different synths, and the sax player is playing the Iwi electric wind instrument. So
that sounds like an interesting band.
So, you know, it's kind of an experiment that we did, but it, you know, it sounded so great that we did an album, and it's out in Prague, you know, not out in the States yet, but yeah, you know.
Man, that sounds like
really
a great band. I would like to check that out.
Yeah.
I think I've been playing drums over 30 years, and I think the biggest way I've allowed myself to develop, even when I was like just playing for 8-10 years, was experimenting.
Yeah.
You know, I experimented with funk, Latin, Afro-Cuban, mixing everything together, even instrumentation. I had a group once when I was in North Carolina, and in Chapel Hill, we would play, and we would have 2 bass players, a cello, violin, and it would just be me on the drums, and guitar would be drums and strings.
Wow.
And it was just amazing how much sound we got and creativity. We just kept pushing ourselves to sound beyond like a string, you know, quintet or something like that.
Wow.
And it allowed me to like explore so much stuff. And that's something I noticed with you. You know, you're not afraid to like go into different umbrellas and say, you know,
definitely.
I play funk, I can play this, that. And I can hear you do that all on one gig, and it sounds really good. The particular thing with Paul Bolenbeck, you had this nice, funky groove, man, and you were just smiling, projecting that energy of joy to the audience.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to draw influences from, you know, wherever I can. I also like to listen to a lot of, you know, hip hop producers and what they do. You know, they, you know, using different sounds and you know, the way they kind of lay the groove. Some of them like to put it way behind, you know. So, you know, I just.
Well, you know, I had fun doing that when we did some gigs in D.C. I was playing with Tom Brown, Jamaica
Okay,
Funk.
of course, yeah.
And so that was
Yeah.
really fun because we had Born Notorious. You know, we had
Yeah.
all kinds of rap artists with us.
Yeah.
And I was really digging it because I would play, and all of a sudden they say, "Hey, man, play this swing groove on top of this, and still play funk underneath."
Oh, wow.
And man, that was just killing, you know. So
Yeah.
we play these tunes that it would end up sounding like some kind of bossa or anything, or I just start playing some kind of Nigeria rhythm or some
Yeah,
West
yeah.
African rhythm, and they would rap on top of it, you
Yeah.
know.
Wow.
And to this day, I'll still do that. You know,
Yeah.
if the gig lends itself to say this is what's going to happen,
Yeah, yeah.
I open myself up to it.
Yeah. I feel like everything's kind of connected, so
That's
you
true.
know, I don't even really like to say, you know, this is this genre, we're playing this genre of music right now, you know.
Right.
I just believe, you know, it's
Right.
good, it's good.
That's true. So on this show, we have what we call the hip tip.
Okay.
So the hip tip is actually anecdotal things that we share with the audience, whether it's packing the drums or
Okay.
how to play more effectively on the snare drum or transitioning from sticks to brushes.
All right.
So let's check out today's hip tip. Hello and welcome to The Drummer Speaks. I'm your host, Alvin Atkinson. And today we're going to share a few hip tips for the hip drummers. Today's hip tip is developing a consistent ride while playing melody lines in your left hand or comp lines, like you would probably hear on a piano. So first of all, let's talk about a consistent ride pattern groove. So let's talk about the swing groove. There's two ways we can do this when we're playing swing. First of all, the ride cymbal connects with the bass player. If they're playing quarter notes, you can first of all start like that to establish a groove with the bass player. So I'll sing a bass line. Doom, 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 doom. All right? And then you can play a swing groove on top of this. Ding. All right, so now we want to see how we can play that consistently and still adding our left hand. Now this can be complicated, playing the ride pattern and doing a melody in the left hand. So let's take a song like, I don't know, let's take Cottontail. So I'll play it with quarter notes first. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I played the first A section of Cottontail with quarter notes. Now I'll try it with the swing pattern with the ding, ding, a ding, make it swing, make it swing. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering, what's the difference? Now I'll let you hear it